What is stopping you from living in freedom? What have you been uncovering over the last few days that is showing you the areas in your life where you're not painting with all the colors of the wind? Because that's really what's the most important thing in life. The most important thing in life is to be able to find out, how can I paint with the colors of the wind more? How can I live in that space of more freedom? So far this week, what have you been uncovering that is showing you where you're not living in freedom? We've had a really, really great week so far, haven't we? We've spoken about various different tools and ways of uncovering how we can find out where we're not living in freedom. So we've spoken about this idea of how we only have two source beliefs, either I am good enough or I'm not good enough. We spoke about how we have 90,000 thoughts a day, and those 90,000 thoughts a day, most of them, 90% of them, I mean, how many of those thoughts that you have every day, this is what I asked you to do, is start listening to your thoughts. Are your thoughts original thoughts, or do they come from conditioned views? So we spoke about, where do these original thoughts come from? I asked you to have a look in the mirror. I asked you to have a look at what thoughts come up when you look at yourself in the mirror. And I asked you to start looking into, how many times do you say should? Because should implies a judgment. Should implies that there's something right, and should implies that there's something wrong. Today what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to look at a bit of a practical example. And you see, we are ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror. Of course, we notice all the thoughts, the reactive thoughts that we have about ourselves and our self-worth. But here's the thing, guys. It's not only about looking at ourselves in the mirror. Every person, every situation, everything, every stimulus outside of ourselves shows us the attached meaning that we have towards something else. So you can see today that I am not at home. I am at, I've got a client coming, an early client. So I'm sitting here at the Marine in Paris, in Canzier Marine. Really, really beautiful. And I didn't make it to work in time today because I have a very interesting relationship with public transport in Paris. So the example that I'm going to give you is based on my experience over the last 24 hours. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to have a think about any situation, any person. Could be a friend, could be a family member, could be technology, it could be money. You see, everything in our life is a reflection of where we are in alignment or not in alignment. So everything was running late today, and like really, really late. And I knew I had to be in my office by 8:30 so I could do the Facebook Live. So here's the thing. A stimulus occurs. So the bus is running late, the train is running late, somebody says something to you. There's an external stimulus. Now this is outside in. Now what happens is that something happens and there is an emotion. It triggers an emotion within your body. Now there is an emotional response that takes place. That emotional response is triggered, or that emotional response is linked to a conditioned thought. And that conditioned thought is linked to a source belief. I'll say that again. So a stimulus outside of yourself happens. It triggers a conditioned emotional response, or triggers an emotional response. That emotional response is linked to a conditioned thought. That thought is linked to a source belief. All right, so if you are in awareness of this, you can then begin to analyze it. And I've always said to you that awareness is your power. So let's have a look at this. Public transport was late. I felt irritated. Good morning, beautiful Eva. I felt irritated, okay? So that was the emotion. You see, our emotional responses, they're reactive. We have no control over them. And often we have no control over our reactive thoughts. This isn't a problem, guys, because this is part of the human experience. So if you learn nothing from today's video, what I'd like you to learn is that your reactions are the human you. And it's not about being guilty or feeling guilty for the human reactions. Our power comes in the awareness and the present moment and the ability of us to choose. So stimulus, automatic emotional response. I get irritated, I get angry, I get frustrated. So that's interesting. Remember last week I said that your emotions are your gifts to go into that awareness, that space of awareness. So why am I irritated? I'm irritated because I'm feeling not honored, all right, because I'm feeling frustrated and I'm feeling that, it's not going my way. But if I go even deeper, I'm feeling irritated because I need to be there on time, because if I'm not there on time, then I'm going to be seen as not good enough. You see, it went down to that original source belief of wanting to feel loved, wanting to belong, wanting to feel good enough. So if you trace it back, any feeling that is like heavy has a source belief that is not being good enough. But that is not a new response, isn't it? It's conditioned, it's reactive. So here's the powerful part of today's message. If I had never been on public transport before in my life, if I had no attachment, if I had no memory, if I had no conditioned views of public transport, how would I have felt? If you have never experienced a particular situation in your life before, if it is a blank canvas, how is it that you respond? Because our reactive responses are there because we've experienced them before. And we've experienced them before, and there has been an emotional reaction that's taken place that has made us feel not good enough. And that feeling of not being good enough has created a belief system, a thought that which we need to take on, or that which we believe about ourselves. But we know that that's not the truth. That was just a defensive, reactive thought that was created, a belief system. But imagine if you were to look at every situation that came your way. Imagine, this is what I'd like you to do today. I'd like you to have a look at absolutely every stimulus in your life as a mirror. And look at, in your journals, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to write down what happened. This was the stimulus. What was the emotional response? What was the thought that you had? What was the belief system that you create, that it links to about who you are? And what was the source belief? Either I am good enough or I'm not good enough. And once you are in awareness of this, you think, that's great. I'm powerful. I am amazing. And it's incredible to be able to have that awareness. I can't do anything about that. But what I can do is I can look over here and I can think, okay, so let's change all of that around. Let's look at original source belief, I am good enough. So what is a belief system I can create that is the opposite to the one that I have? What thought can I have in this moment that links to a new belief system? And that thought will trigger an emotional response, which then becomes your reality. Because the universe doesn't understand fiction and reality. The universe just understands your thought, and it understands the vibration of your thoughts, and it understands the vibration of your emotions. So from this space, you're going to create the reality for the day. So instead of me feeling stressed and anxious and annoyed, I created a new reality, and I thought, I'm going to use this beautiful opportunity as a way of explaining to you guys how you can practically put this tool into place. Because I wanted to create that space where you could live in freedom. And wasn't this a great video? You see, if I had started this video and I was still in the space of stress and anxiety, then the energy of the video would have been very different. But the space I wanted to create for this video was that of awareness. Awareness being the key to your power. The key to your power to creating new thoughts, new belief systems that are in alignment with the source belief that you are amazing, you are powerful, you are incredible, and you are free. Those source beliefs that you have about yourself are the chains that are still keeping you trapped from living in freedom. That is why awareness is powerful. Isn't that amazing? That's a great gift. Now I no longer have that chain about public transport. Or I'm working on it. It's a daily journey. That's why we're here. We're walking together. So here's what I would like to encourage you. Here's what I would like to invite you to do is go into the Thrive Being You Facebook group now. If you're watching it live, go on it now. If you're watching this video in the replay, go to the Thrive Being You Facebook group and do a similar video. Tell me, what was your journey? What was the stimulus? What was the reactive emotion? What was the reactive thought? What was the belief system? And what was the original source belief? And then share how you recreated that for me. Can you do that for me? Because in sharing, it becomes a reality. Otherwise, it just stays in your head, guys. There's head knowledge, there's heart knowledge, and there's soul knowing. And I want you to step into that space of it being integrated into who you are. That awareness is power. I am honored to be your mirror. But these keys to power and awareness, you know they are in you. I'm just honored to be that reflection and that stimulus and that mirror that is helping you see and awaken all of the beauty of who you truly are. What a wonderful video. If you enjoyed today's video, I invite you to share it because this was really powerful, and I think this technique that I've just shared with you will really support and awaken freedom in many, many people. So I encourage you to share it. It's on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Share today's video. It's been great. These videos just keep getting better and better each day. It just keeps getting greater and greater as I step into awareness and support you guys as well. It's been great. Are you enjoying it? We're on day 3 of step 2. And we have another 5 weeks to go. This is going to be incredible, really powerful stuff. So thank you to the universe. I'm in a space of gratitude. It's a beautiful day here in Paris. That's also something that's really powerful, is stepping into a space of gratitude. Whenever you're feeling down, whenever you're feeling caught up in this reactive emotional response, try and feel grateful about one thing. If you can't feel grateful about the situation, feel grateful about the sun. Feel grateful about the fact that you're alive. Feel grateful about something, and it will step you into that new space. You are beautiful. I'm wishing you a wonderful day where you live in freedom, and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Bye.